It is fight week.
Fight
Well,
week, fight week. I'm
Killer
so
B,
excited.
Taylor Starling, Bare Knuckle FC fight night. First ever fight night. Billings, Montana. Taylor, what's good?
Oh my gosh, Dave. I'm so ready. I'm so excited. Watching those Game Bread fights, like I literally tuned in to watch Andy and Crystal fight, and that shit hyped me up.
Yeah, dude,
Hyped me
Andy
up.
looked
So
great.
I'm excited.
Andy looked awesome.
Yeah, she did. I knew she was going to. I knew she was going to.
Yeah, you're pretty positive on that. Another one, another female fight past that was Isis for Beak. Dude, she is a monster. Woo.
Yeah, I should have watched it, but I was like, I literally watched the first couple just to get through them to watch Andy and Crystal fight, and then I turned it off.
Oh my goodness, that is
It
awesome.
had me. It had me amped up. It had me amped up.
Definitely. Well, amped up you will be. On the bottom line there, it says watch Taylor Starling on the Bare Knuckle TV app this Saturday night. Billings, Montana. You are flying out Thursday. All right. So, of course, what we do, we are the People's Podcast, Volume 2, y'all. Volume 2. We keep on connecting with them. We keep on asking them stuff. I saw some of the stuff they wrote. So much to go. So let's just start there. It's fight week for you. And this is kind of the thing I thought of, like, there's so much pro, right? To me, there's so much to be look forward to, excitement, to do what you love to do, to kind of keep on like, ascending in you and your career. But let's kind of start with like, what's a couple drawbacks that people don't see? Regular people see the weight cut, but what's a couple other, things that kind of like, damn, this is annoying now. This stinks.
Yeah, for me, it's like everything's so busy. Like I'm so busy all the time in general.
Yeah.
So like when I get to this point of the week and there's just so many things to do, like crossing my T's and dotting my I's. And literally the only thing I want to do is go sleep. That's why my hair's wet. Like we were supposed to record earlier and I was like, Dave, I got home, I fell asleep, I'm tired. And it's like, I know there's so many things. Like I was supposed to do a photo shoot today and I was just like, I'm not feeling it. Like I just
Right.
want to sleep and like chill. Just doing all this stuff. Like there's just so much to do that I'm like, I know I need to do it and I'm like procrastinating.
Yeah.
That's really it. And then like, it's crazy for me. This is a personal female TMI thing. But for some fucking reason, every time Bare Knuckle has scheduled me to fight, it has been on my period. Like on my period, about to start my period, in the middle of my period. Like I've never just once got to fight for Bare Knuckle and not be on my fucking period. And so I'm stressing because I have to make weight and I gain weight. And like you saw the
Right.
whole like Aspen Lad thing. Like
Yeah.
I have that like made me nervous because I'm like, I'm right now, my weight's perfect. But it can be in like 2 days, I'm gonna be prime PMS, like 5 pounds put on. And like I have no control over that. Like nothing. Like there's no way I can stop it. There's no way I can like keep it from happening. It's just gonna happen and I'm gonna have to like roll with that. So that's been my biggest like stressor this time.
Okay. There you go. See, no one else can have your story. Like no one else can have the PMS story. I don't have that. So,
Yeah.
it's that's you. That's Taylor Starling. Is there anything else? Like to me, I love to travel, right? I really do. I love to travel and see new things. Like we talked about like Billings, Montana. Like that's just a new, different place, but you never know. That might be like, wow, it was better than I thought, or
Yeah.
more beautiful the land, or a couple good restaurants, whatever. But I like to travel, but then there's, you're home, family, we both have kids, and how much we both love our own kids. So it's like when we're away from a day or night, it's like,
It's the
okay, but
worst.
they can move on. The second day or the third day, that's when it's like, man, like it gets like, I miss them, they miss me. It gets hard. So to me, like I would assume the same for you. It's like the travel being away from our kids.
Oh, that's definitely one of the hardest parts, especially like the last camp, because I was gone a whole week.
Right.
And then like I got back and had COVID. So I was gone from my children for like 3 weeks straight. And at the end, I started losing it. And then just being on the trip, like there's so many cool things you get to see that you're like, man, I wish the kids were here. And like, I wish they could be here to see that. And like, yeah, I'm just waiting for them to get older so I can be like, do you want to go and like want to be on the trip and like.
Okay, I was going to go there with it. Like, is that something that intrigues you or interests you? Be like, yeah, like I want to take the boys. Maybe if it's a babysitter or a parent or maybe a significant other, whatever the case may be in the future. But like, like, yeah, I think I really do want to bring the boys around to kind of show them what's going on.
Absolutely. But Carson's so sensitive. So it's like he loves that I fight. He's like, you're going to buy me toys and you're going to win and make all this money to buy me toys. But when he's seen me with like black eyes and bloody and stuff, I mean, that stuff's kind of traumatizing. And it's like, he is just more like, I want my mommy to be okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want him to be like, I want to go. Brody, he wouldn't give a shit. He'd be there and like having a party in the VIP or something. But Carson's very sensitive, so I'm waiting. Speaking of like trauma and like stuff like that, I just seen that like that guy just passed away.
Yeah, very sad. So that's kind of, I guess with you bringing it up, I love it. This is as real as it gets and as raw as it gets. We didn't even talk about, we were going to talk about this on the show. Yeah, Justin Thornton passed away. He lost and got knocked out by Dylan Kleckler. And it's so, my wife and I talked about it. She called because she saw it. And it's just one of those 1 in a million type of scenarios.
Yeah.
And like we've seen some vicious knockouts. We've seen Masvidal running the Askren and bare knuckle. We've seen some knockouts. Caleb Harris, I mean, right? But like when he knocked out the guy, like I know the guy like fell like a tree and fell like on his upper torso. When Justin Thornton got knocked out, like he was in a weird V shape. And when he fell, like that's what happened. He kind of spiked his head into the mat. And it's like,
yeah.
And you know this, and I want you to, if you want to talk about it, the mat is so hard. Like, dude, behind the curtain, we would literally put the Game Bread Fighting Championship mat area we put it together, us family around the circle. That it's wood. Like there's like a little thing. It's like wood. So just like in anything, imagine on a deck or whatever, falling
like full body weight, just like landing on your head.
Yeah.
And my condolences, like, to him and his family. I just thought that was so wild. And then, like, Facebook and Instagram's down today. So, like, right before it all, like, crashed for me, that was the last thing I saw. And I was just, like, shook. It was just crazy. But, yeah, it can happen anywhere. In boxing, MMA, like, there's been a couple of things that have happened. But it's not, like – and you know what? The crazy thing that I thought of, and, like, this isn't in an offensive way or anything, but I like, read that, and I'm like, man – that doesn't change my perspective of it. Like I would go out there and like be like, I'm okay, like knowing that that's like a risk involved. And like, that's like what separates like that people are really willing to go in there and like put it all on the line.
Right. And like, I saw a tweet from, I think a bare knuckle FC fighter, and they kind of tweeted was like, it's, like even this, like as much as like I don't want to kind of go this way, but I just want to throw this out there. Like so much crap gets talked all the time, and like kind of like bullshit drama of the fight game, and fighters don't like this or that. But like at the end of the day, like I hope like the fighters and again I think the fighters do, but I hope the fans realize a little bit more how much like shit you guys are putting on the line. Like it's entertaining and it's fun. I can't wait to Saturday night to watch Bare Knuckle FC Montana, especially because Taylor Starling's on the show. But it's like, I hope the fans realize, you know, what you guys do for us.
Yeah. So. And it's like, I literally, every time I fight, I go in there and like, you know how I fight. And I envision that the person across from me is trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And that I'm like, you're not taking my life from me. Like, we're not, like, this is, like, that's how I really see it as, like, this person is trying to take away not, like, my physical life, but my everything, physical, mental, everything in between. So, like, I go in there and I'm like, I'm going to put all my life on the line to make sure that does not happen.
Right.
And, yeah, I didn't mean to make, like, a sober turn, but that just, kind of, like, came up into my brain as I was talking. I just thought it was wild.
It really is. And I saw it too this morning, and, you know, we were going to do this a couple hours ago, but in podcast world, this will be out Tuesday morning. So I kind of want to announce that a little bit, like every Tuesday morning, the Banana and the Bee podcast will be there. You know how many people have messaged me like, hey guys, I haven't heard it yet. Like on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I'm like, it's taking time. We ran into a little bit of a hiccup. But it'll be out there soon. Like
all great things don't just happen right away. You know what I mean?
I know. And I tell people like, I like to listen to podcasts too, but I'm like, you guys can see us do the podcast. So like, you know,
so much better. Like,
It is what it is, right? So when you were saying that about kind of you think that she's gonna want to kill you into this fight, do you think right off the bat, do you think Randine is gonna want to be aggressive right off the bat, or do you think she's gonna want to like feel it out and just kind of almost play defense because she might think you're gonna be aggressive? How do you
I
think
hope
this will
so
go?
because like part of me feels like she's coming to stir some shit up.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
feel like which like I don't know Randine. I don't dislike Randine. I don't know anything about her. I don't know her
right.
personally. So for me to like dislike someone off of that is just like I don't have any history with her. But the way that things work, like I'm actually gonna let you guys in on a secret. Her manager had messaged me and said, like, how are we gonna sell this fight? And I messaged her and I said, this isn't the fucking WWE. I don't need to do any fake bullshit to sell a fight. And then she just didn't message me anymore after that. And I blocked her. I blocked her manager. I don't have time for that stupid shit. So I feel like maybe her manager probably reached out to her and was like, you know, Taylor said she's not about that. So maybe at weigh-ins, like, go shove her or something.
Right.
And I'm like, but I will say, like, if she shoves me, I'm going to shove her right back. And
There
if
we
you guys
go.
see me, if you see me in some kind of beef, it's real. Because, like, but, like, my plan going into this is just to be, like, my regular, normal self. But I'm not a bitch. Like, if she comes and shoves me or gets in my fucking face, like, I'm going to be right back up in it. And I feel like that's her plan. And if she comes out aggressive and hot, I'm going to do it better. Like, I'm way more aggressive than she'll ever imagine being. So.
Right. No, this is why I love this show so much and why I think this is going to be so good. Like, no one knows that. Like, no one knows about your woman's cycles. And then no one knows that her manager reached out to you to try to create WrestleMania drama before this match. Like, and that's sometimes like, to me, at least as a fight fan, and I was a fight fan when I was 9 and still a fight fan to whatever age I am now, people. Like the best drama to me is real drama, like real organic drama. Like, let's just say it. Like, you like throw it out there. Like we mentioned her name last time. Like, if you and Britain fight for the championship, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't even have to be bad blood drama. Sometimes drama isn't like I hate you or anything. It's just like, dude, like you guys have a lot of similarities, and you guys, I feel like very underground and very like you guys had to claw for everything, and you guys had to grind to get to this spot. And now it's like
it's just like tension, like just
tension
like, is gonna happen.
And like, only one of you can win. Only one of you could be the champion. Only one of you could be the face of Bare Knuckle FC. And then, hey, this is to every fighter out there. And I love, and we talked about it earlier, how much I respect all the fighters going in. If you and Britain fight for the title, whoever wins that fight is the face of Bare Knuckle FC. Like, I'm sorry, that's it.
And it's like, you know, that's why we made it like a thing where we want something on the line, because no matter, like, that's going to have tension behind it just because of it being a fight. And it's like, so like we both have that fiery, passionate desire to be the fucking world champion. So it's just going to naturally happen. Yeah, I don't like that fake shit. And it's like, I feel like people, when it's fake and staged, you can always fucking tell.
Always.
So I'm like, I told that woman, I said, I don't need to do fake shit to sell my fights. I sell my fights just doing like this. I'm like, Randy, I'm not trying to, like, now this is where I start to sound like a douchebag, but I'm like, Randine's lucky to be fighting me to sell the fight, because I'm gonna sell the fight regardless. I don't need to do all the extra and like fake shit. I don't know her. So for me to be like, fuck you, you fucking bitch, like, I'm gonna take your soul. I don't know you. I don't know you.
I'm gonna snatch your soul.
They had history though. I'll give them that.
Dude, it was wild.
But like, for me to be like that to Randine just wouldn't make sense, because I don't fucking know you. Right.
So how funny is this? So we kind of went there. We talked about the beginning with Game Bread. So then that moment happens at the weigh-ins, and like we kind of think, oh wow, that's good for the card and all that, but we don't know. We're still there. We're still doing the rest of weigh-ins, and you know how to, like, we're cleaning shit. We're turning off the lights at the venue. We're like, okay, guys, we're gonna go back to the hotel. We're gonna get dinner. We're setting up dinner plans, and like then we check out our phones, and it's like,
blown up.
Yeah, like it's everywhere. Like this shit's doing it. Game Bread posted it. We see all these other MMA platforms posting it. Combat Sports media platforms posted. We're like, holy shit, we got something. So there was this gem there. Her name was Sophia. She worked for FRM. She was amazing. And she was doing the media stuff. She was like linking everything together. And she's like, hey, Dave, you want to talk to Andy? Like now? I'm like, oh, absolutely. Let's get it. And we were going to do Crystal too, but Crystal wasn't staying at the hotel. There was like a hotel that all the fighters and, I was staying at. So I was like, let's get it. So literally walked up to her room. And we just kind of had that little 5-minute thing. And it was like, and then that thing went wild. So I'm like, dude, this is crazy. So
I died. Andy Nguyen is so funny. And she was like, I died when you guys did the interview. And she said, I just tapped her on her shoulder to knock the dust off. I was like
she was eating it up. Like I felt
so
like
funny.
I think she understood like the moment and like the lights are on and the eyes are on and she lit it up. Like she had a little bit of a dance. She had the hat. And like, dude, she performed like phenomenal.
Yeah, she's so good at that. I love that. Andy can take anything and turn it into like, I'm promoting this and this is how I'm gonna promote it and this is gonna make money. And like even in her post-fight speech, she said, I hope I made you guys some money. Now let's make me some money. And I'm like, you better go off, Andy. I love her.
There we go. Billings, Montana. It's fight week for Taylor Starling, her third fight under the Bare Knuckle FC banner. All right. So both fights would have been in Florida. This is in Billings, Montana. Are you looking forward to it, somewhere new or different? Or are you, to be honest, if you're like, no, Dave, I wish that shit was in Florida, I would be down.
It's so funny because I have spent the whole time, every time I'm in Florida, like, man, I wish we were fighting somewhere else. But like the easiness of it, of just like shooting down to Florida, the flight's like 1 hour. You get there. I know everything because that's my hometown. And like Montana, like I have to be at the airport at 4 a.m. on Thursday, fly all day. And then literally the night after my fight, my flight leaves at 6 a.m. again on Sunday. So it's just like that to me. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a lot of travel for me. And I don't like airports and I don't like large crowds of people that I don't know like that. So it's just going to be like
venues. You sell out $10,000 seats.
No, see, that's different. Like I love going to see the fans, but like being in an airport with like rude people that are like not in the mood. I'm thinking hopefully since my flight's at 6 that there's not a lot of people and it's on Thursday and so early that I won't have to deal with too many people. And it's like Montana and stuff. I'm like, hopefully it's good, but I get really anxious flying. I always think I'm gonna die every single time I get on an airplane.
No, I'm the worst. Like I literally drive everywhere. People like think I'm so ridiculous. Like there was a place we're in Biloxi for Game Bread and Fighting Championship. Everyone flew, like almost everyone there. I drove. Like I got up at 3:30 a.m. from Daytona Beach, Florida, and drove my ass to Biloxi. I don't like my thing.
Oh no, we're cutting out.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
All right. So real quick, not real quick, but we have some fan stuff. The people love us. People love you mostly.
No, see, like on our Instagram, I'm always like, there's too much Taylor. There's too much Tayller. You can never have too much Taylor, I guess.
You can never do. There's some good ones. Oh my goodness. There's like, all right. Who would win a WWE match between Tay and Dave? Or would you guys be a tag team?
We would be a tag team.
Of course. Like, come on now.
What? How could someone ever bear the audacity to try to plot us against each other?
What would be a good tag team name?
The Banana and the Bee. I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of WWE, make sure you guys tune into my fight because my walkout is about to be so fucking epic. I cannot even express it enough. But aside from that, tag team, what would our thing be? I've always thought, like, if I was a wrestler, what would my persona be?
Ooh.
Because I wouldn't want it to be like the typical, like, you know, Ronda Rousey when she's like the cage fighter.
Yeah.
I want to be something fucking wild. I want to be like lightning or like, I don't know.
Dude, it was so funny like you said that because like I thought of like kind of like in a weird way. Like the first thing that came to my head was like kind of like a Wonder Woman, like kind of like goddessy and kind of like ultra powerful. Like you're tall and long and like I just think some kind of like kind of like a superhero-esque, like a Wonder Woman.
That's what I want. I want like something. I don't know. I would love to do it. I would be terrible. I think if we had to fight each other, you would beat me because like you're so good at like the like theatrics of it that like I would just like crumble.
And it's so funny too, like because they always say this with wrestling. Like I think I'm a good dude. I think I'm a good person and helpful person and a family person. But like I think I would be such a good bad guy. Like I think I would be like the sneakiest sneak. Be like, oh, Mr. Referee, the Wonder Woman right there did this, and then they would turn around and like I would hit you in your kneecap when you weren't looking.
Oh,
like,
you're gonna give me like a Nancy Kerrigan moment. I need you to like now we have to like plan like for one of our fun things to go film. We need to like go somewhere and train some fucking WWE and just do it for fun.
They got like the whole performance center in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, like we need to go try and like set it up.
Yeah,
and we can like dress up. We should dress up like luchadors. Like,
well, maybe you might have some of the outfit already picked out.
There we go.
Yeah, we spilling all the tea right now. All right, so there's one question. Oh, I had it on my phone. All right, here's some more. Taylor, what is each of your guys' favorite personal failures from the world of combat sports?
Personal failures. There's been quite a few. I will say this. I'm trying to remember like the timeline period. Like when COVID first kicked off, I kind of stopped. Like I started my divorce and like everything right as that was happening. So literally I'm like beginning of my divorce as COVID's like just happening. Everything's getting shut down. I'm trying to like find a home, things like that. And fighting, I literally took fighting and was like, you got to go. And you know, because I called you and you were like, well, what are you going to be doing? And I'm like, I'm not going to be doing anything for a minute. So I took like a whole year, basically. Like I still trained like here and there and like did some stuff and stayed in shape, but really not until like almost a whole other year later, I didn't do anything. And that's when I kind of like got my bearings right and stuff and then started knocking for bare knuckle. But I like didn't do anything and I lost. Like I fought 2 times, like lost.
Yeah.
I literally was at the point where I was like, I don't know if fighting's going to be for me anymore because of all the things I have going on personally. Like, I just don't know how I'm going to like be able to get back from this. And then lo and behold, like, ka-ching, breakthrough.
It was like, kind of like the best thing that ever happened. Like, yeah, in a weird way, do you think that year off was like awesome? Was like one kind of, I would say, to like get your body right. Like all the training you guys do, like your probably lower back isn't as good if you didn't train right for 6 months, or your ankle might be a little sore. Like, do you think in a weird way, like a year off is like, wow, your body's like, thank you, Taylor Starling, thank you.
It definitely helps, like for me more so like mentally, because like I'm the type of person like after doing it every single day, all day, that like it starts to like hammer at you, and you're like, oh, I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired. Like I'm not enjoying it anymore. It's becoming like too much. And so yeah, I kind of that breather, but like that was the hardest year of my life thus far. So honestly, I wasn't even fucking thinking about it. I was like, I'm so far gone from that right now that I got so much other things going on. Like I literally remember talking to you and like we didn't even talk about fighting. We would just be talking because I was like, my life is like horrible right now. So, you know, that was definitely the biggest like failure setback. Like I wouldn't say call it a failure, but it was definitely my biggest like setback. What about you? What was your biggest failure?
I was like trying to think of it. Like to me, there's not like one, right? But I love okay, when I do a show, right? When I go to a show, I go away for a show. It's like I want to get the most out of me being away that I can, and like get so much content and connections and pictures and sponsorships and interviews and all this stuff. So it's like sometimes it's like it went amazing. Like I got 8 interviews, and now we're like for Piping As we're doing that, looking for a scrap series, and that's like a really big thing that we think like a big future thing, like it's going to be its own entity in a way, right? So it's like when we do that, it's awesome. But like sometimes, you know, you go and it's just like it was good, but it wasn't as good as some other times, and it's like it was all right, and I made a connection, but like I didn't get 7 interviews. You know what I mean? Like this last GFC was awesome. Like after the weigh-ins, we did interviews. We did looking for the scrap. We did other interviews the day of. It was just like we got so much content. It was worth it.
I really need to come with you for the next fight trip, like plan ahead so that I can go because I really want to go. I'm always like, man, they look like they're having so much fun.
It's so funny. Me and Dean talked the next day about it, and it is fun. So I don't want to say that, but like same thing with you. It's so much work. Like people don't understand like how early you guys sometimes we get up and how late we're out, or like because if you're working to 10 or 11, then you go out to get something to eat, and then it's like there's 8 of you, so like dinner's 2-3 hours. The next thing you know, it's 1:30.
Yeah,
and then that's the beginning of the night.
Dean Tool doesn't sleep.
He doesn't.
He lays awake, and anytime he like goes to sleep, he just laying there like
his phone is probably ding. This is a good question. I like this one, and I got to think about my answer too. So if you want me to go first, I will, or you.
Okay.
If either of you could have one walkout song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's hard.
Yeah, like because different emotions and vibes and stuff like that, I know
there's like fighters who use the same one every single time, but for me, it's like I gotta switch up the vibe. I gotta like I could walk out to like some songs repetitively. The best I would have to say though is like the one that I always find myself going back to is like Trick Daddy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because like that moment at Knuckle Mania when I walked out and that song was playing, like it was so good. And I'm just like, this song never like doesn't get me hyped.
Yeah. No, it's that could be a good one. Like that could be it.
But I just like couldn't imagine picking that one forever. I don't know.
Yeah, like for a title fight, like, and if you did it like 3 times to get to the title fight, like that title fight, like I'm giving you something like unique. Like it's really weird. I would think like I would want something that like connects with me, that means like something to me. But yeah, I don't know if I could just pick one song. I probably couldn't. But if I, off the top of my head, if they're like, "Hey, Dave, here's $100,000. You got to pick one for the rest of your life," I would pick the Greatest Showman song.
Oh yeah, and I would snatch that $100,000, and I would be like, "Okay, yeah."
That shit's awesome. My kids love it. Like that shit. That's connectable.
And I actually. Another like about my walkout, like this time for the fight I like hit up the DJ and I was like, listen, I need you to mix something for me. I need you to take this and I need you to take this and I need you to put it together and it's gonna have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and like I can't wait because it's like this whole, I'm hoping that it just all goes swimmingly without any like hitch, because the plan and the vision like in my head, which like I feel like this is like championship worthy walkout, but I'm doing it for like fight night in Montana. But I just like I was feeling it. So
but like this, like if I always say this to you about like your first 2 fights, I'm like, in a weird way, you want the world, you want the bare knuckle FC world and the fans, even if you're not the main event, everyone you want to be talking about you.
Yeah.
Like if you steal the show in multiple different ways, like that's it. Like, and like we talk, like Bare Knuckle FC has to know that Taylor Starling, the Killer Bee, maybe should be on that poster. Maybe, they had that really cool video. And then at the end, it goes to Riggs and Gillard. No disrespect. Maybe it should be someone else there at the end. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just got to make a stand.
Soon. Let me tell you, this walkout, like if everything, I swear to you, if it all just goes the way that it's supposed to, and I overthink about everything. So like in my head, I'm like, what really can go wrong? But yes, I have been sitting and like dreaming about it. I'm so excited about it.
Here we go. Well, guys, I think we got to a good point. Fight Week, Volume 2, the Banana and Bee podcast. This will be on YouTube. It's Tuesday if you're listening to it on Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, Taylor's flying out. Friday is weigh-ins. Saturday's the fights. Right there at the bottom. Watch Taylor Starling on the Bare Knuckle TV app this Saturday night. Bare Knuckle Fight Night, Montana. It's going to be a good show. Bear is on it. Shofi has a nice fight. There's a couple nice little prelim fights on it as well. Like we said, Riggs and Gillard is the main event. But the people's main event will be Taylor Starling.
The people's champ, baby. I'm here. The uncrowned champ. Can't wait to win, hurt this girl, and go on that microphone and let them know what's next.
I was going to say, okay, you're kind of even doing the promo. This is the last time that podcast-wise we're going to talk to you, but hopefully we'll see you all week long on the Banana and the Bee on Instagram. You do your thing. Take it over this whole weekend. But if you have one last thing to kind of tell your people, what would you want them to know?
I want the mother effing belt, and I am going to do everything in my power to put a stamp on this fight this Saturday to make sure that they can't even deny me the title shot right after this fight. And I love you guys all so much, and I can't wait to do it for you. There we go.
Love it. Love it. All right. Volume 2 is in the books. Taylor, Starling, Killer Bee. I'm Dave Van Auken. Keep on subscribing, downloading when we get it on podcast platforms soon. But all right, we out.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
I gotta get better at that.
Just gotta say it the second you're leaving.